Live. This is Law Call.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Law Call. We've got a special guest in the house tonight. We have the mayor of the city of Panama City, Florida, Doc Rohan. He's in here with us tonight. He's going to be taking your questions live. You know, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Hurricane preparedness, Hurricane Michael, different things that have taken place through here, the fire tax, marinas, all sorts of things we're going to talk about here. Some of it affects just Panama City, but really it affects a lot of people here who visit our city. If you come to the marina, some marinas charge you to do their boat launch, some don't. We're going to find out a little bit more about that tonight. But first, we've got an email question. Let's go to that real quick. Or do we have an email question? Upcoming. Here we go. And it's very topical already. Goodness gracious. Do I have a case if bad road conditions caused me to have a car accident? That's Paul. Well, Mr. Mayor, hate to come right at you right away, but it depends on the conditions themselves, Paul. Some conditions, yes, you may have a case if road conditions cause you to have an accident. In other situations, it is not. So what is it, typical lawyer talk, you're telling me, yes, it can and no, it can't. Well, if the condition has lasted for a significant length of time, let's say that you've got a pothole that grows and grows and grows and, gets real deep and it becomes dangerous. The city's been notified and they know about it, but they don't act on it in a reasonable length of time, then yes, then you may have the case. If it's something that just happens, and I'm going to give you, for instance, because around here we've got a hurricane coming and maybe the road washes away during the course of the hurricane and you go through the water and you don't see that the road's washed away, the answer then is no. So it's very fact specific, Paul. So a little bit more, can you have a case? Yes, you can. It's going to depend upon the facts of each and every circumstances, just like many other cases. But that's a great question to start out tonight. So let's go right to introducing Doc Rohan. Dr. Rohan, go ahead and introduce yourself. We've got folks all the way up in Opp, Alabama who are watching, and believe it or not, your city may have an effect on folks that come in from Opp, Alabama as they visit us. So let's make an introduction here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you just recently became mayor of Panama City.
Yes, I did. Well, thank you, Larry. I really appreciate being on here. And I did become mayor about 3 months ago. I felt that the city wasn't exactly listening they weren't listening to the citizens. The citizens, they felt very strongly that our marina was being ignored, that the boat ramp was getting ready to move, and we had high taxes with this fire tax being thrust upon us. And in addition, like our email just a minute ago, we've got a lot of potholes out there. And since I become mayor, I can say that truthfully we are working on it and we are trying, but there are an awful lot of potholes. And the reason I became the mayor is because I wanted to keep the boat ramp open. I wanted to get something done at the marina. And we've also got a lot of other projects. We have an MLK Center that was destroyed by Hurricane Michael. That needs to be rebuilt. We've got downtown. We've got let's see, it's the theater downtown needs to be redone. The Civic Center, we probably have $100 million in projects and probably about $30 million in money. So we've got a big job, but I ask you all to work with us and we'll do the best we can. And I appreciate people from Opp, Alabama, from Dothan. We get a lot of visitors. Panama City is a great town for visitors, and we appreciate all of you coming down here because you come down, you're good people, you spend your money, have fun, and then you go back home and we get to take care of the town. We get your revenue, so it all is good, and we hope that we treat you well. We are very interested in that. We want you to feel happy down here, so you invite your friends and that you'll come down again.
Okay, let's talk about some things. First of all, let me talk about a local issue first, the fire tax. Now, I call it a fire tax. It was passed as an assessment that was here for the city. I own property here in the city, of course, with Perry and Young and a couple other properties, and we just got our assessment in, and our tax, it looks like it's going to go up. Tell us a little bit about what that fire tax is and what you personally have tried to do as the new mayor to alleviate some of the pain for the folks here locally.
Well, this they called it an assessment so they could tax everybody, but it's better known as a fire tax. And it was passed about 4 years ago. And I think the thing that made people the maddest is it was called a fire tax, but in reality, the money goes into the general fund. It doesn't just work for the fire department. And it brings in about $6 million a year. So I campaigned on trying to get rid of it completely. I made a motion at one of the commission meetings, but I could not even get a second, so that died. We were able to drop it about 15%, though. We gave an exemption to homestead people that had a homestead, and we also kept it at the lowest level that we've ever had. So we actually did drop it about $1 million this year, but it's still substantial, and it's painful because it's a tax that we weren't really told it was going to be a tax, and that's exactly what it is. So I hope that we can next year we knock 10% off. I hope we can knock maybe 50% off next year, or maybe even more. But the whole idea is to try to get it down. The revenue in town is going up, so actually your tax probably did go up, even though the rate of the tax did not go up. But since the property value did, it's going to make it look like your tax actually did go up. And that's painful because we're going to have increases in utility tax, increase in electricity, increase in water and sewer, and inflation. I mean, we're really getting whacked from all sides here. And what I want to do with my administration and with our commissioners now, and I think we're all working on this goal, is to try to be more responsive to the citizens, try to get our taxes down, but at the same time do a good job and take care of the city.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the fun things, though. I mentioned the marina and the opening. We've got the marina since you've come on board. Part of it's been opened up now. Tell the folks that are out of town who may have used the marina downtown, and of course, also the St. Andrews Marina. Tell us what's going on with the marinas here in Panama City and particularly St. Andrews Bay.
Well, we have two marinas, as you just mentioned. At the St. Andrews Marina, we actually probably need about $15 million to fix it, and FEMA is going to give us $8 million. So we're close over there, and I think there's a good chance that we can get it going before too terribly long. Downtown, we're not totally sure what it's going to cost, and we're not totally sure what FEMA is going to give us. FEMA has said they would give us $15 million. But they have also said they're going to readjust that, and they may give us as much as $20 million. So once they give us our final number, then we'll be able to put it out to bid and do something. But right now, the marina, I would say, is 2/3 open. What we call the T-dock is open out to the very end, and it's open also on the west side. And in the next month, we're going to get the east side open. So by the end of the next month, we should have the whole marina open. And we won't have it open to boat slips. We'll have it open where you can come down, you can launch your boat, and you might be able to tie up if you can find a spot in the marina, but we're not pushing that because we're not gonna have anything specific. But the idea is that the marina will be open. There's people down there fishing. I was down there today, and there was at least a dozen cars down there with people fishing off the dock. And I think it's a good place to fish because nobody's fished there for 4 years. So I think it's probably worthwhile checking it out. But we do have the marina 2/3 open. St. Andrews is looking like something good could happen there. And we also have we've got the boat launch. The boat launch is still down there, and it's pretty busy at certain times, but at the same time, there is room. I've always seen, except for snapper season. During snapper season, you probably couldn't get down there. But any other time, you can get down there, launch your boat. You can stay out. You can stay out overnight if you want. You can bring it back late at night. The marina's open all the time, and we got lights down there. So it's an asset for the city. It's something that's gonna help us, but we just got to get it going. It's still at least 2 years out. So I hate to keep telling everybody to be patient, but unless you got a check for $30 million, then we're going to have to be patient.
Now, is there a fee to use any of the marinas right now?
Great question. No, there's not. It's totally free. I think we're probably going to have to put a user's fee, maybe $5 to launch your boat, something like that. I think that would be reasonable, and that way we would get some money, and we could use that money to put to line it, so we could put places for your boats and trailers and things while you were out. But right now, nothing. But at the same time, there is talk of a modest user's fee. And people have talked about taxing our visitors, but not the locals. I don't think that's a good idea. We want our visitors to come, so if we tax anybody, we're going to tax you all. But it will be modest. I don't want this to be a burden. We spend enough on our boats, and we spend enough on our fishing things and on our toys. We got to be generous to people and let them use their toys.
Okay, we've got a question. Let's see. I think it's Marquise. Got a question about affordable housing. Okay, Marquise, go ahead, please.
Hi, yes, my name is Marquise Brown. I used to live at the Royal Arms apartment off Balboa Avenue.
Yes, sir.
After Hurricane Michael, it seems like that apartment complex just kind of got shut down. It's just abandoned now on the side of Balboa. And I was wondering, what are you guys going to do about some affordable housing around here?
That's a great question, Marquise. In fact, Mayor, you and I were talking about the affordable housing projects that are going in. And for those of you who don't know, and Marquise hit it right on the head, many of these places were hit horribly by Hurricane Michael, and a lot of them were subsidized by state and federal governments. But there's been some partnership agreements that have gone in, and let's just talk about the one that's going in across from the government complex building, in addition to the one that used to be up here at the corner of 15th Street and MLK. Tell us about those two projects. Royal Arms, I'm not familiar with. Doc, if you're familiar with Royal Arms, you can talk about that specifically, but let's talk about the affordable housing projects that have kind of come back up.
Great question, Marquise, and I'm impressed, actually. There's, like Larry said, across from the Government Center, a very large complex going up real fast. And then on 15th Street and Jinx, there's a big complex where West Lumber used to be, and one of the cable companies used to be there also. But anyway, that is going up right now, and that's near completion. And there are several others. So there's actually a lot of affordable housing going up. What's happened is out-of-town investors, particularly from what I understand out of New York, they've put these investment groups together, and these are the people that are going in and they're building these things. And these two are big ones that are coming up now, and I know there are other ones. I'm not sure about the one you're talking about, but they were, like Larry said, the affordable houses were destroyed during the hurricane. I mean, they were totally destroyed. Actually, the one you mentioned on 15th and MLK, that's nearly up complete too. So that's three big complexes that are going up that I know of, and I'm sure there's more that I just don't know of them. And the MLK Center is going to be right near that one complex. We're going to spend something like $20 million on that place. It's going to have 2 indoor basketball courts. It's going to have rooms where you can actually learn how to do TV production and things like that. It's going to have a cooking room where you can learn you can teach people how to cook. It's going to have a STEM room for the mathematics and science and technology people to study. It's going to be a great asset to the community, and I can't wait for it to happen. But again, we're hamstrung by some FEMA regulations, but we're near the end of the line. And as soon as we get FEMA, the last approval, we'll put it out to bids. Once it goes out to bids, it'll be 2 years. So I'd say we're 2 years and a couple of months from having that done.
Oh, very good. Great question, Marquise. And folks, the lines are open. You can ask Dr. Rohan, Mayor Dr. Rohan, any questions that you've got. We're taking your questions live. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Law Call. Tonight we have Mayor Dr. Rohan of Panama City, and we're talking about affordable housing. We're talking about projects that are coming up from the hurricane. We're talking about other projects that are going on within the city. And so we've got an email question that's come in about a follow-up question that you just had about the MLK project. Let's go ahead and go to that. Oh, Dr. Russell Allen Wright. Dr. Wright, thank you for watching tonight. What progress is being made towards the Martin Luther King Jr. Rec Center? That's the center you talked about there just a few moments ago before the break. Give us kind of where we are with that project. What stage are we in right now?
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Wright. I saw you at the NAACP meeting about a week ago, and we had a pleasant conversation then. And I'm glad you're watching. You're staying up late. There is something when you have a building that's destroyed and you go through FEMA, you have to get an EHP, and it has to do with an environmental historical program. And when you have to apply for this, and you apply through FEMA, and it usually takes a year. And interestingly, of course, the city, they got right on this, and the city was told back in March that we would have it like tomorrow, and we still don't have it. So we're, let's see, that's March 5, and we're about 3 or 4 months late now. So I suspect this EHP is going to be there any day. I really do. I'm not making anything up, because we were supposed to have it in March, and so now here we are, almost to September, and we don't have it yet. But as soon as we get that, then we can file. We can file with FEMA. We have it. We can move forward. We can put the MLK Center out to bids. When we put it out to bids, it'll be 2 years, from what I understand. We're having, FEMA is going to give us about $12 million, and it's going to cost us about $20 million. So we're going to have to come up with $8 million, but I can tell you right now that we've done a lot of work downtown. We need to do some work on the other side of town. And so we're going to take some of our downtown money and move it over to you. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do something like that, because we've waited too long to have this thing, to have the MLK up and running. And we're almost across the goal line as far as getting our funding arranged. So we're gonna find a way to get that money, and we're gonna move on. And we should be able to put it out to bids as soon as we get the EHP. The EHP is 6 months overdue now, which is terrible. And there's nothing we can do about it. You can call FEMA. I can call FEMA. I imagine President Biden could probably call FEMA. I don't know if it would do any good, but by the same token, FEMA has been very good to us. They've given us we've had to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but they have been very good to us. They've given us a lot of funds. We probably would want more, but they still have given us a lot of money. So we're not going to complain too much. But at the same time, it is right now, that's what's holding us up. When we get it, we'll jump right on it, I can assure you.
And the odd thing about FEMA money is you have to use it for that particular project. You can't then combine everything and get a big pot of money and say, all right, well, we can prioritize MLK, then we can go to the Martin Theater, and then we can go to the Marina Civic Center. We can do that. You have to use it for the particular projects. It's got that earmark to it, correct?
It is earmarked. There are some ways that if you accept the money somewhere else and you tell FEMA we won't ask for any more, they call it capping. If you cap it somewhere else, you can sometimes take some of that money and move it. And that's what I think we're going to have to hope to do with the MLK Center. And there's also a new grant program that we may be able to get up to $3 or $4 million in grant money to finish the MLK. So we're getting close. I can tell you, everybody down at City Hall is working hard on this thing, because we know that you folks, you people out there on the north side of town, in the Glenwood section, you can see everything that's happened downtown, and you like downtown, I'm sure, but you like your own neighborhood too. And believe me, we're dedicated to taking care of you.
Yes. We've got a caller on the line. I believe it's Tina. Gina, not Tina, Gina. What's your question tonight?
Yes, my question is, has anyone ever considered possibly turning the Panama City Mall into the Civic Center, only because it's so much more accessible to so many more people with 231, MLK, 15th Street. There's hotels in the area, because no one can seem to decide what they want to do with the mall, the developers, and then they could use the Civic Center area for more waterfront development.
Gina, that's a great question. Doc, I don't know if you were able to hear that or not, but she was basically asking, why not move the Civic Center, the Marina Civic Center, basically ditch that and move everything up to the mall location?
That, Gina, is a fantastic idea. It's actually the most obvious thing to do. But the problem is there's two outside investment firms that own the mall. Dillard's owns their piece, and let's see, there's a piece in the middle that is owned by somebody, I think by the theater people, and then Penny's is owned by Penny. So, but the rest of the mall is owned by two investment companies out in New York, and they have been approached many times by the city to try to obtain that land to do just what you're talking about. It would be a superb spot for a civic center, right on 231, right on the entrance downtown. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. But we can't get them to get off the mark, and it's their property, so we can't go steal it from them. We can't go take it away from them. We have to follow the law. We have to do, we have to do what's right. We are working. We're trying. And if anybody knows them out there that has some leverage, I'd love you to call them, because it's a great place. It's the perfect place. It's obvious.
Yeah. We've got an email question we need to sneak in real fast here. When do we think we will have a new city manager hired in the position? And will you re-implement a Christmas boat parade? So two questions there on the email from Veronica. Hey, Veronica. So Veronica Kemeny is asking us, what do you think? New city manager and the boat parade. Real quick, we got to give a quick answer here.
Veronica, I think we'll have a city manager. It's going to probably be at 2 more months. But I have a firm commitment from downtown to do the boat parade. So
there you go. So quick answers there. Hey folks, we got to take a quick break. We're up against a hard break right now. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments. Tell you what, we've had a great evening tonight with Doc Rohan. Doc, give us a quick pitch for people to come to Panama City.
Well, thank you for having me on, Larry. Panama City is a great place. We have lots of water. We have great people downtown. We have great restaurants downtown. If you get bored downtown, you can go over to Panama City Beach. So we've got both of them covered. We'll do our best to treat you right, and we'll take care of you. We'll promise you that you'll have a good time, that you'll want to come back. We want more of you to come down. We're going to take care of you, and we'll want you to come back, and I think you'll enjoy yourself. I'm sure you will. The marina is going to be open, and we're going to have boats down there before too long that you can even charter and things like that. So everything's looking good. We got beat up bad by Hurricane Michael, but we're coming back. And we got another hurricane coming up, almost following the same path, not quite as strong, and it's also on a Wednesday, I believe. So history seems to trying to repeat itself, but I don't think it's
we can do without that history, Doc. We can do without that history.
Yes, sir, you're right, Larry. You're very right.
But folks, thank you for watching. We've got some shout outs to get to tonight. We've got a couple of photographs here to get to real quick. Let's see which ones we're going to get up first. Oh, we've got our 10-year anniversary. Donna Barton, she's watching with her husband, Dr. Bruce Barton. So congratulations, Donna. 10 years, we appreciate you, love you. Glad you've been with us. We got a couple more here coming up real fast. This is our intake group, or part of our intake group. They're down at McLeod's Glass Blowing at Panama City Hot Glass Studio. These ladies worked hard and earned themselves a special little bonus, which included a day out at the Panama City Hot Glass Studio. Of course, you got Mr. Lonnie Andrews, the PCB barbecue man, or the PC barbecue man. I tell everybody he's got a GSD, get stuff done. And of course, there's Robert Tillman getting better with my beautiful wife, and Handsome Hank over at Encompass and K Hall's Deli. We've got Joseph, and we've got Oliver, and we've got Stacy. Photographs of all of them coming up here from Modern Made Photography. There's Miss Stacy. She's awesome. Look at her. She made Ted Howell look good. Can you believe that? And there's Oliver along with Joseph. We've got Buck, Nicole, Vicky, Harriet, and King. Oh. Y'all put that up there. Yes, that is the new Ted Howell. He wants a billboard like this. I can't believe y'all did that to him. I did not send that to him, Ted. So, you know. Harriet, God help us all on that. Say a prayer for me because Ted's going to kill me now. Carrie, Rosie, and Michelle are watching. Gary's watching. Gabriel, Nan. Hey, Miss Amy Hoyt's even watching us tonight. We appreciate that. Tal and Lindsay are watching. Holly. Lori and Corey, welcome to Panama City and Panama City Beach. Y'all are watching tonight too, and we appreciate it. And of course, Brent from McLeod Studio is watching. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rohan, for coming on tonight. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Larry. I appreciate it. And I want to give a shout out to my wife, Thelma. She's the politician in the family, and she's helping me.
Very good. Awesome. Miss Thelma, you have a good evening too yourself. We appreciate it. Hey, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be back here at the same time, same place, same stations next week. We'll be right back with you in 7 days.